Hardcore Minecraft is a beautiful thing. There's something about only having one life that totally changes the game. Sure, boss fights are more intense, and near-death experiences make me a more careful player, but it has also made me care more about my world and have more fun. I survived 500 days in my hardcore world, and I'm here to show you what I've done so far. I hope you enjoy. The purpose of this video isn't for me to give you a day-by-day recap of what I've done so far. Those videos are awesome and I love them, but that's not what this is. I'm also not here to show you how many crazy things I did in such a short amount of time. I'm not going to tell you that I fought 10 withers at one time while riding a horse or that I made a netherite beacon in record time. I'm here to tell you my story and I hope you enjoy. And one final thing before we get started, this video takes an extremely long amount of time to make, so if you do enjoy, please consider liking the video or even subscribing to the channel. I make content just like this all of the time. The journey begins here where I spawned just below this village alongside this beautiful ocean edge facing to the east. I would actually grow to love this view as I enjoyed many great sunrises over this horizon. In this area just to the north, that's the area I called home. I love the sloping terrain and the way the shoreline was shaped. Plus, I had never actually settled down alongside an ocean, so it was a great change of pace for me. And with that, I set off on the early game grind and decided to build my starter house on top of this hill. There isn't anything too fancy here, but I really do love this build. The tower on top is a nice addition, and I think the whole thing just fits really nicely into the area. It was early on when I decided I would dedicate some serious time to making this spawn area look amazing, so I filled in these valleys between the rolling hills with just these massive wheat fields. It was a bit obnoxious, but I just love the look it gives to the whole area. I also added the first bit of detailing to the side of these hills, and I later on went and hid torches underneath the leaf blocks because it just made the whole area glow at night, and it was so cool. I ended up building this bridge to help me cross over from one hill to the next hill, and let me tell you, this thing is probably my favorite build that I've done in this entire area. I just love the way these stone pillars fit so naturally into the landscape. I quickly realized that I had a bit too much wheat planted and made some expansions in my crop fields with some carrots and potatoes that I got from the nearby village. These would end up being a massive help later on with villager trading, as a single harvest yielded many stacks of each item. I transformed this entire hill into just this massive sugarcane farm. It's kind of a thing in early game Minecraft where your sugarcane farm just kind of sucks and you just have none of it in the early game. And I was like, nah, I want to have a lot of sugarcane, so I just made this farm extra big, but it looks really cool too. Also, it's very satisfying to collect all that. But anyways, this bridge was probably the first diagonal thing I've ever built that I didn't hate, so naturally I was pretty excited about that. At this point, I had way more crops than what I knew to do with. So I set out to go snag some villagers from the nearby village. Let's go find a foe. A foe? I mean friend.
Friend. Definitely a friend.
And it actually went really well, which is not something I would normally say. And as we approached, look who was waiting very patiently for us. And it took some finessing, but I managed to get the villagers in this hole underneath my house. And this is actually where I would end up building my villager breeder. I also added this in as an expansion to my house. Actually, it was our first expansion to the house, so it felt good to finally have more space than just that box. At this point, it just felt logical to build some sort of a villager trading hall, so I built it into the side of this hill, and this was the first thing that I built where I didn't have a plan and it just did not look good. The thing is that I absolutely hate it. It looks so bad, but it was functional. And honestly, that was okay for what I needed right now. I had my mending books, I had my silk touch, I had anything I needed to get some pretty good early game enchantments. And that's what I did, so I got geared up because I knew the next thing I wanted to do was go into the nether. And the thing was, I knew where I wanted the portal to go, I just didn't know what the design was. I knew I wanted a cool design, but I didn't know what I wanted to use. I chose to figure that part out later, so I just lit the portal and then went inside. Oh my god, I'm on a cliff. This is so dangerous. This is not good at all. It really was just an awful spawn. I'm talking like basalt deltas and soul sand valleys as far as the eyes can see. But I did manage to venture out far enough to find some of the other biomes. And I ended up using some of those blocks to make this pretty cool nether portal design. Honestly, I'm pretty fond of it. But at this point, I was still longing for more adventures, so I set off to find the Stronghold and fight the Ender Dragon. Things went pretty well, but I did have this stupid near-death experience when I was in the Stronghold. It's just so crazy to think that my own stupidity could just end the world like that. But after a lot of searching, I did manage to find the portal room. Oh, I found it! I found it! I don't know where I'm at! And I pretty much just drank a slow-falling potion and went right in. Taking my time here. Okay, I'm actually safe. It's good. I'd rather be here than out in the void. This was actually a pretty big milestone for me because I had never fought the Ender Dragon in hardcore before. And it did take a little while, but honestly the fight went pretty well. And before I knew it, I came out on top. Come on. One hit. Hey! Free the end. Look at us go. Look at us go. How's our armor doing? Pretty good. I'm going to repair this pickaxe with all of our new XP. Now, if we pull out this piston and put it facing into the side, and then flip this lever, there we go. I have the next generation. I have the dragon egg. So we got to figure out what we're going to do with that. Maybe we'll build like a little shrine. Not too sure. But hey, we have finally done it. But I wasn't going to stop right here. I mean, I came all the way out here. So you know I had to go get that elytra. And that's what I did. So I built on up to the end gateway and I went on through. I am super scared. Oh, I'm on top of a chorus flower. Okay. So random. And this is by far some of the craziest luck I've ever gotten in Minecraft. I won't even try and explain, I'll just let the footage speak for itself. I was already on top of the world when I got the second elytra, and then all of a sudden another end city just loaded into the distance. I don't know what I did to deserve this luck, but I mean, I'll take it. At this point, I had just gotten my first pair of wings like 8 minutes ago, and I was already about to get my third pair. It definitely felt like a nice change of pace, especially after that nether spawn. Yeah, I got a ton of really cool stuff when I was out there, and I actually ended up finding another end city, so that brought our total elytra count up to 4 pairs of elytra. Pretty crazy. And this is kind of a turning point for the series, because as far as I'm concerned, once you get your elytra, the game totally changes, and it just opens the doors to so many new opportunities. And I was excited about this because I finally felt like I had more freedom in the world. But I also wasn't ready to just leave this area and go work on a mega project somewhere else, because this area still felt unfinished to me. And I knew if I left now, I probably wouldn't come back to finish it. But all these rockets for my elytra aren't cheap, so the next thing I logically had to build was a gunpowder farm. Now, if I was in a hurry, I would have just built this creeper farm out over the ocean way up into the sky, and that would have been the fastest way to get as much gunpowder as possible. But it also would have ruined my coastline, and I didn't want that. So instead, I opted to incorporate this farm into my base area and actually build the farm spawn platforms down below the ground. Alright, so I'm way down here at bedrock level, and just for the hell of it, I am going ahead and covering this with some black glass. I don't know, I think it looks kind of fun, so we're gonna rock with it. But in here, I've gone ahead and laid out the basic shape of the creeper farm. So this is what a spawning platform is gonna be shaped like. It's 5 out on each side from the center block, and then it goes diagonally in, and it's 7 wide along here. So this, where this black glass is, this is the outline of the shape of a spawning pad. Yeah, I have the water streams here, so this is going to be where the creepers run off from each side and fall into this water. It's going to go all the way this way on both sides, and somewhere in this area it's going to go up a big water chute on both sides, and then that's where we're going to, you know, see them suffer up there. So yeah. I think it was worth it. I mean, it definitely added a lot more work. I mean, I spent just a stupid amount of time lighting up caves, but I do think it was worth it in the end. Well, I hope this works. Oh my goodness, I hope this works, you guys. There's so many creepers. Okay, now that that's taken care of, let me go through how this design works. So it's very simple. I added a lever here, and that is powered on right now, which will actually retract a lava bucket that's inside of this dispenser. And then when I flip this lever and pop it back, boom, there we go. The lava is dispensed. So now we are in auto kill mode. So you'll see here, this guy will burn alive and we'll get his drop. And if we turn it back here, now we are back in manual mode, so I can collect the XP with my sword and get the looting 3 effect. Also, it was a really cool design, and I love the fog effect on this floor. Then I got a whole bunch of sand because I knew that I could use it with my gunpowder to make a whole bunch of TNT and go ancient debris mining. Also, blowing things up is pretty fun. How much TNT can I make with what I just gathered from this gunpowder? Let's see, let's put this sand down and let's take a look here. All right, and after using all of my gunpowder, we have just under 3 stacks of TNT, which might seem like not a whole lot, but honestly, for just making that farm yesterday, that's pretty good. It took me like 20 minutes just to get down to level 15 to where I could even start mining for ancient debris. I mean, you'll see here from the footage, but it just was a ridiculous path that I had to take. I also didn't realize how big this lava lake was until I watched this footage back, but man, this thing's absolutely massive. I don't know how efficient this is in terms of the TNT usage, but it definitely worked for what I needed it to do. I definitely prefer this method over to mining or using beds just because it's just so fun. There's just something a bit unsettling to me about being underneath of a lava lake for so long while in the nether. I mean, yeah, I had fire resistance potions and I was fully equipped, but it just gives me anxiety watching this footage back. And I don't know, I just think this goes to show how dangerous Minecraft can really be, and it also shows the importance of just staying focused, especially in situations like these. But it was worth it in the end because I ended up getting 9 netherite ingots when it was all said and done. So I shouldn't have to go back there for a while. But at this point, it felt like our base area was being neglected a bit, and I didn't like that feeling. So I knew it was time for us to add something new. I knew I wanted some sort of fantasy wizard tower on top of this hill near our base, but I just couldn't find the design that I was happy with, and after a lot of researching, I finally found something I liked. And I want to give credit where credit's due. This isn't my design entirely from scratch. I found a design on Reddit from somebody. I'll make sure to leave a link in the description, and then I did change the block palette a lot to match it to what I was looking for, but I absolutely love this build. I think it fits in so nicely with our base. And I put our enchantment table and all that stuff inside of the tower, even though at this point in the game I don't really use that anymore, but I mean, it's there if I need it. And it was around now when I realized that pretty much all of our villagers were gone. They must have gotten killed by zombies and then despawned. I just didn't realize it at the time. My villagers are gone. All of them, except for 5 or 6 of them out of 15. Yeah, I don't know what happened, and that's unfortunate. But is it a bad thing? Because last time I checked, I said I hated this area, and I still do. It looks like crap. And that's why the next thing we built was a villager trading hall, but a real one this time, a proper one. So logically, the first thing I did was I actually saved the guys who didn't get killed by zombies and put them in this safe area, and then I got digging out this massive room underneath of the hill where the tower was at, because this is a good space that we hadn't really used yet, and it would be a perfect spot to build this thing. The good news is that I have a massive area to work with. The bad news is that I have a massive area to work with. What do I do with all this? But after some testing in a creative world, I did manage to find a design that I liked and one that would fit in our space. It had 2 stories and would hold a total of 32 villagers. And during one of our live streams, I actually got everybody moved in from the villager breeder, except there was a pretty major problem. Oh, I'm honestly in such a mess right now. Some of the villagers have died. I've killed some of them on accident. They won't take a job. I don't know what it is. This guy, look at this as an example. Ready? It's the middle of the day right now. It is working hours, my friends. I will destroy this. I will put it back and no job. I've been doing this for hours trying to figure out what is the problem right now. This really sucked. I ended up having to kill every single one of them and then refill them back in and give them a job one by one. But now the villagers were finally in place and they all had jobs, so now I could work towards something that I had wanted to do with this build from the start. I had the idea of making the roof of this building entirely out of emerald blocks, but it required a lot of emeralds, way more than I had right now. So for the next long while, I just collected a whole bunch of resources that we could trade with our villagers in the new trading hall. And it took forever. I mean, just getting all of these emeralds probably took me 6 to 8 hours of trading. It was actually ridiculous. And it was right now that I started to regret making these massive carrot and potato fields, because as much as they worked to get massive amounts of crops, the time it took for them to regrow and to replant was just insane. I probably should have just built an automatic farm of villagers to have a constant flow of crops coming in, but it is what it is. But I do think it was worth it in the end. This whole project was an absolute mammoth. I mean, it was probably the biggest thing that I've done so far in the world, even though it might not look like it. And I absolutely love how it turned out. I mean, the entrance outside leading into this hobbit hole in the side of the hill with the retaining wall, it just looks so good. I'm so proud of this build. One of the last things we did during these 500 days was build an iron farm in our spawn chunks. I mean, this is a very basic design. There isn't a whole lot to see here. I mean, at this point, I think I'm just here for the memes. This is way obnoxious, way too much storage that I will ever need, but I mean, I guess in theory it isn't a spawn chunk, so maybe over time it'll fill up, but probably not. It's like hundreds of double chests, but hey, we know it has a place to go. And that brings us here on day 475. I can't believe we're already all the way over here. It feels like we've done so little, but so much at the same time. But yeah, I'm gonna spend the next 25 days just making this base area look as beautiful as possible. I'm gonna do as many finishing touches around here as I can and turn this into a nice time lapse for you guys. I hope that you enjoy. I'm also gonna try and not sleep through the night, which is normally I would sleep through the night because it's, you know, dangerous, but like, I mean, there's 25 days left and I got a lot to do, I feel like. So probably stupid, but I'm gonna do it anyways. Hopefully I don't die. That would be really embarrassing. But seriously guys, enjoy the time lapse. And this is the second time I am recording the outro. It's actually a good thing I let myself have a little bit of extra time. It is the morning of day 499, and I've pretty much gotten all of the building that we're going to be doing done in this area, and it feels really freaking good. I also didn't necessarily intend to spend the last 25 days making like 30 custom trees, but I mean, I'm not surprised. I mean, they look so good, and I think they add so much to this area. These animal pastures are so beautiful, as I have 0 pigs inside that one. All my pigs keep escaping. I don't know why, but we don't need them anyways. Oh, I need to hurry. I have 1 day left. But yes, I went ahead and added this pathway down behind the mine shaft, and it doesn't really go anywhere. It just loops back around to our villager trading hall, and I think it just kind of ties the area together. And that was kind of a theme with this whole area. I just built things for the sake of building them, and that's totally okay. And if anything, it just goes to show how many different ways there are to play Minecraft. I mean, I could have spent my 500 days building massive farms and doing mega builds elsewhere, but I mean, this area is beautiful, and these flowers don't place themselves. But I am very happy with this area as a whole. When I was actually conceptualizing it, I just wanted this area to be something that I could come back and visit later in the series and be proud of and have it look beautiful, and I think we've accomplished that. And it feels kind of good to have embraced all of Minecraft's most natural things, I guess. Like, I don't have anything automatic here. All my animal fields are fully just free range. I have just a normal sugarcane farm, just these massive crop fields. I mean, everything is so organic and it looks so beautiful, and it goes to show that you don't need everything to be so automated and massive to be cool and be fun and be awesome. And if you have any feedback for me, I would actually love to hear it in the comments, or even with a like or dislike. Just like let me know, like, did you like it or not? I hope you did, because I had a lot of fun making it and it took a long time. So if you did enjoy, please consider subscribing too. I mean, I make content like this all the time, and it's really something I enjoy sharing with you guys. But I'm rambling at this point, so I'm gonna leave you guys here. I hope you did enjoy. Here is to 500 days in hardcore Minecraft. I hope you enjoyed. Here is to many, many more. Enjoy the show.